Good evening. The Concord Township Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for April 9th, 2025 is now in session. I would like to introduce the board. To my far left is Brian Falkowski and Ashley Garkar. I'm Ivan Valentik. To my right is Davey Rowan and Todd Goling. To our far right is Heather Freeman, our zoning inspector. Under the advice of our legal counsel, we ask that anyone speaking tonight must be sworn in. If you plan on speaking, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help me God. If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated. When presenting your case or commenting this evening, please come to the microphone and state your name and address and confirm that you've been sworn in for the record. Heather, were the legal notices published in a timely manner?
Yes.
Perfect. Tonight we have one appeal. A 3-vote majority is required to either approve or deny that appeal. If a request is denied, you have the right to file an appeal. All right. Old business, there's nothing hanging out there, so we'll start with new business, which is variance application 2025-168. Mr. Jonathan Terry is requesting a variance from section 6.01B2C to permit poultry husbandry to be located on a property less than 1 acre in size. A second variance is requested from section 6.01B2C III to allow the chicken coop to be located 5 feet from the rear property line in lieu of the maximum 25 feet clearance required. This is for the property located at 10395 Squires Court, also known as parcel number 08-A-002-R-00-007-0. Mr. Terry, please come up. You have two variances, but just present, your case for both of them at this time. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming we're going to vote for them separately.
Okay.
We'll have two votes, but confirm you've been sworn in your address.
My name is Jonathan Terry at 10395 Squires Court, and here for the variance request. I have been sworn in.
Okay, please try to speak up if you can a little bit. The microphone is only for the TV, so that won't help you, so just try to speak up.
My name is Jonathan Terry at 10395 Squires Court. I have been sworn in, and I'm here to talk about the issues you discussed there.
Okay.
Poultry and being within the line of the property.
Okay.
Okay. So, first of all, I'd like to have the poultry for the different benefits of the kids. We'd like to have them have the chores, have the ability to have something that's unique. The kids we had chickens where we came from in just Painesville Township on a 1/4 acre of land, and it was fun for them to see entertain kids and just show them different things. So there's benefits to that for the kids, give them chores. We like having pets that kind of give back a little bit, and so it's nice to have them. We had them before, and we haven't had issues with the neighbors. The neighbors hadn't complained. We had a reasonable accommodation. It wasn't overcrowded or anything for the chickens. We also do not want to have any roosters because that would complicate things. So we're just looking for just a few chickens to have eggs, have some benefits for the kids, and we've had them in the past and taken good care and been aware of the needs of the neighbors. As far as the second part, being within the offset, for the offset there, I propose putting making a current existing shed into the chicken coop. My property is the back part is entirely enclosed with a fence, and so I propose just putting it on converting an existing structure into the chicken coop and having the perimeter of the fence be a border for the chicken run. So those are the two variances that I'm looking to have, I'm appealing.
And then when you said you've had chickens in the past, has it been on this property?
In Paynesville Township.
In Paynesville Township?
Yeah.
So how long have you been at this residence?
A little over a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and were you aware that moving into this property that you wouldn't be, that it's not, you're not allowed to have?
I think we saw that, we assumed that it was okay. I don't know how we messed it up, but we knew that it was allowed. We didn't realize there was a qualification and that we didn't meet that.
For the lot size?
For the lot size, right.
When you say a few chickens, how many chickens are you looking to have?
Right. I would say around 10, no more than 15. We want to make sure that we can take care of them. The reason I say the maximum would be 15 is sometimes predators get them. Sometimes they just die when you get them, so they can be young and die. We don't want to have more than we can adequately take care of. It's about 2 square feet per chicken is kind of what they recommend as a minimum, but we've provided a little bit more for that.
So they'd be fenced all the time?
That is the
So the
intent.
intent is to keep them in the backyard?
The intent is to keep them in the backyard. Yeah, about 10 is what we're looking for. 10 to no more than 15 for sure, because we just can't account. We don't want that.
So when you say chicken run, forgive my knowledge of chickens, but chicken run just means like a fenced-in playground area where they can go. It's not like an actual extra building, a run.
Right. It's just a run for them to have open air and get out of the enclosed sleeping area arrangement.
So the smaller barn that's here, the shed, that's going to be the chicken shed, the chicken coop.
Yep.
And then you're going to fence off and basically enclose that back area so they can run around and.
Right. Just be chickens. Yeah. Just have a high enough fence where they can't escape. If they do escape, they usually come back. It's not
So you're not actually building any additional structures. You're just taking one structure that's there and turning it into a chicken house.
I intend to do that. Yes.
Got it. And then fencing it off. Like what would the fencing look like?
Well, I haven't gotten too far down that path. In the past, I made a white vinyl fence around the back of the property, a 6-foot tall perimeter. Right now, the current fence is kind of it needs to be replaced. So I think it'd be a stage where I'd at least make it a chicken wire. It's right now that would be at least 5 feet high, and then maybe incorporate a little bit more permanent structure fencing as things progress, as we maybe update the current fence. So it would be like a vinyl, maybe a vinyl. I just looking for the okay right now, quite honestly.
And I apologize, Heather, we haven't met in a while, so I know we were having you give us a little summary before. Have you been out to this property? Has anyone from the township been out here?
No, I have not been to the property.
And I want to be clear that if they add a fence or replace a fence, or they make a chicken run, all of that that's separate. They would need to come back in for fencing permits and zoning approval, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so just be aware that if you change out the fence, you'll need to come in for approval. And if you put up a kind of a fence to make this chicken run, you might need to get a separate approval for that also. If it's like chicken wire, maybe it's okay, I don't know, but I would run it all by Heather. But that wouldn't be part of this meeting.
And just to clarify what Mr. Valencic is saying, not back to this board to get permission for the fence, but as long as the fence is compliant with the zoning resolution, you just come to our office.
Right.
It's approved by
Yeah,
the zoning
thank you.
inspector.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heather, when you reviewed, is there anything that you wanted to make us aware or anything that jumped out of your initial review of the document?
No, I had just put some of the information that Jonathan had submitted with the application on a couple slides, so I don't know if it helps to have it up on the camera or on the TV, but I mean, I can, this is located within a subdivision, which is why we're regulating at the agricultural use. It's on just over a half-acre lot on Squires Court, which is located off of Coleridge Drive. the applicant put together some nice exhibits here that I just thought it would be helpful to have them up on the screen
Yeah.
for you. There are 2 existing buildings on the site that were both permitted back in the day. The resolution has changed now. But he is asking to convert the one existing shed, as he indicated, into the chicken coop, and then putting up a little bit of fencing to section off that small little area of the backyard for a run area for the chickens. So basically the issues of non-compliance are the lot size and the fact that the shed is approximately 5 feet away from the rear property line instead of the minimum 25 feet from the property line. But everything else was compliant with the zoning resolution.
Did you get any letters of support from, I didn't see anything from Kit, maybe I missed it, from any?
I did not solicit. I talked to 2 neighbors about it, and they were verbally okay. But I did not solicit a written signature, and I did not talk to this gentleman here or this lady here. These are also 2 neighbors on my cul-de-sac, so they
Okay.
might have things to say.
Yeah, everyone will get a chance to talk if they want to speak this evening.
How big is the current shed that you want to change to a coop? Meaning, what's the square footage that you're aiming to make the coop?
It was, right now, I think it was 168 square feet is what the previous approval was for. This is the legacy
The physical
size.
Okay,
The physical footprint of the shed is 168 square feet.
right now.
The barn was 25 by 25, and it fell under.
Oh no, I'm just asking what the size of the coop you want.
Okay.
Just simply the coop.
It's the coop right now is 168 square feet.
Do you plan on keeping it 168?
Yes.
Okay.
Footprint. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you're keeping the same 4 walls.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then the run. What is the square footage of what you gave us? What would that be, the total square footage of the run that you're asking?
I did not include that. I did not tally that footprint. So the barn is 25 feet,
25.
and then
50.
It'd be 40 by 20 or something like that.
50 by whatever this is.
Yeah, 50.
I don't know how big the barn is. The small barn.
That's a kind of an angle.
12 by 16.
Yeah, 12,
Like 50 by 20.
50 by 20 is what we're
about
saying.
50 by 20.
I have a scale here. I just doing
Oh, I
it quick
love
and
it.
dirty. You know, like the shed is about 50 feet away from the east property line, and the depth of that area is, you know, about 20 feet, approximately. Quick and dirty.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Would you consider going any smaller for the run or the coop? Like as you're asking for this coop, are you just going on the inside of the physical barn and changing it, or do you plan on putting in a new coop in the location?
I plan on just converting the existing footprint,
Okay.
dividing it in half so I can use part as a shed and have the other be for the chickens. I just want to have them rest inside the current footprint.
Okay.
And the chicken run is essentially just the where the lot fell because it's enclosed. It's just in that corner,
Okay.
and it's just the minimal amount of work.
Okay.
Brian, any questions? on your
I
end?
don't have any questions now.
Ashley, you're good?
For now, I might.
Okay.
It's a shed, but doesn't make sense to
What?
just.
Would you be open if we suggested any stipulations, like if we said, you know, you can't have a maximum of 15 chickens?
Yeah, if
Or you can't have a rooster, you know?
yeah, that I mean, I'd be open to that. This is just what I'm in. This is what I'd like to have. If you want to restrict it, I won't have any roosters. I don't want to listen to roosters. 15. Sounds like a lot. It is. It can, I understand that. Maybe 10. I'd be open to kind of recommendations there if you want to qualify the conditional
Maybe
usage.
Where maybe another potential, could be that, this variance kind of rests with you as the homeowner. So if the property changes ownership, then this variance would expire. Would you be okay with that as well?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't, conditional use or something, or
Yeah.
reevaluation, or, yeah, definitely, I wouldn't
Sunset.
wanna, I can't ask for other people.
Oh,
Any questions?
for him, I don't.
Good right now.
Okay, good. I think you can be seated.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else that'd like to come up to speak for or against this appeal?
Yeah, I came, I might as well talk.
Yeah, come on up to the microphone.
My name's Lee Bartholomew, and I live at 10384 Squires Court, which is across the street. I've been there for 52 years,
And you've been sworn in, sir?
and I've been duly sworn in, sorry about that.
No, you're good, thank you.
And I'm here because of, well, a couple of reasons. One is I know a little bit about chickens. I grew up on a farm in Burton, Ohio. My daughter is a veterinarian. She lives in a city in Georgia. She has chickens. She actually wrote the regulations for the city. My main concern, and I'm for the committee granting Mr. Terry his request to have chickens. I have no objections to chickens. Chickens, they don't make any noise. Most of the time you don't even know they're there, and they're far superior to a barking dog. Now, I think the main issue here is I read this letter I got is that he doesn't have an acre. And I think if you minimize the number of chickens that he's allowed to have, that a half an acre will work fine. And in fact, I talked to my daughter today and I ran some of this past her. And the recommendation is that for me anyways, is that you do not allow more than 4 hens. Because if you have 4 hens, you will have more eggs than you'll know what to do with. And we know from experience, because I mean, they have so many, they sell them. And no roosters. You don't want to allow a rooster. You don't need roosters to get eggs. And as far as I don't know, his plans for how he's going to make a pen or anything like that. All I know is now that the property has a 6-foot stockade fence all the way around it. And there's no way those chickens are going to get out of there. And if they roam around back there, that's fine. They're good for the environment. They eat bugs, mosquitoes, and all that kind of good stuff. So, but I think if the committee considers allowing him a minimum amount of hens on the property, I think it'll work for everybody. I think probably won't even know they're there. Again, I can't comment on the what he's planning on doing with the shed and all that. That would be up to the committee as to whether those meet your regulation or anything. But again, I had nobody on the street that I've talked to or we've talked to has any objections to Mr. Terry having chickens. Now, again, 2 of the homes are unoccupied right now. One of them is because a tree fell on it, and but I think it would be good if he's got young kids. My grandkids love the chickens. They make pretty good pets actually.
Yeah.
They're kind of homey. They don't wander off anywhere. They stick pretty much around their food and their water and their nests. So again, I would recommend that the committee consider granting him that half-acre thing anyways. What you do with the setbacks, that's, I don't know anything, how he's gonna set his pen or his run or whatever he's planning on doing. But again, I think his home is ideally set up because of the stockade fence. Nobody know they're even there. So again, thank you for listening to me and just thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for attending. Any further questions from the board No? Would anyone else like to come up to speak for or against this appeal?
I'm Ellen Thompson. I was sworn in. I'm at 10378 Squires Court, across the street. And I just want to say we support him. My husband and I support him.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. With that, if there's no further questions, the public hearing for variance 2025-168 is now closed to the public. Can I get a motion to approve variance 2025-168.
Before I make a motion, are we doing both of them or just half and half?
Oh, good point. Thank you. I think we should split them, right? Yeah. Yeah, so can I get a motion to approve variance application 2025-168 for the first variance, which is from section 6.01B2C to permit poultry husbandry to be located on a property less than 1 acre in size.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right. Discussion for the board.
Yes.
Who would like to start?
Well, as much as I love chickens, there are rules that say you're not allowed to be no chickens under an acre. I do believe if there are some stipulations, that would be better. I'm a very large rule follower. Half an acre is too small, but the few things that I would like to discuss is, yes, I would love to put a restriction on no roosters. I don't know if there's any objections to that for the board.
Perfect.
Okay, the other one, and I think this is a discussion we should probably discuss though. Most places, you can only buy chickens in quantities of 4 or 6. Depends on where you purchase them. You cannot buy one singular chicken.
Right.
So, in my opinion, a number of 12 sounds pretty decent, even though that's a very large amount. Chickens after 6 months of age lay 1 egg per day with proper sunlight. So in the winter is less. So that's 12 eggs a day. That's a lot. But 12 is divisible by 4 and 6. Easy to purchase. I don't know if somebody wants to go less than that, or if we like 12. I think 12 is a lot, but I'm also looking at the ability of purchasing, of how you have to purchase the chickens.
If I've learned anything in my 54 years is listen to the old timer who grew up on a farm and take that advice. And I don't know how many chickens I would want or need to have, but I think that I just think 15 sounds like a lot of chickens.
It does. My concern is if you say 6, because a lot of times it's either 4 or 6 is the quantity you have to purchase, which is why I would say a minimum of 6 for purchasing purposes. It's sometimes, depending on where he goes, could be hard. So he can go buy some. If something happens to 1 chicken, and we say he can only have 6, right? So now he has 5. He can't just purchase 1 singular chicken to get to his 6, which is why I would say a little more. I know that's kind of a backwards way of looking at it, but because you can't buy 1 chicken.
I mean, you can go to
There's
like
a
a
chicken
flea
black
market
market out
sometimes
there
and
somewhere.
get a chicken, right? There's a
I
lot
think
of
you
ways
can
to
buy
get
1 chicken.
chickens. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just
Tractor Supply, like
You're
if you
supposed
learn by
to.
a minimum of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But
Don't go to Tractor Supply,
no,
because you'll end up with roosters.
don't want roosters.
No roosters.
No.
But
Now
so
go to a reputable chicken where you get
Hatchery.
chicks. If you go, like at Easter, you go to some of these places, I'll guarantee 80% of them are roosters.
Yeah.
We know from experience.
There we go.
So
I learned something today.
I'm not like the buying things. That's his problem.
okay. So
That's
I mean,
what
I
I'm
would be
looking
fine
at.
with 6, but I'm also willing to talk to up to 12, depending on
I
as
think-
we talk numbers.
I think 15's a lot.
That's a lot.
I would say 6
think.
to 12. I
So-
don't know if other people have opinions of lower or less.
So can I go way backwards before we start talking about stipulations?
Yeah.
The only thing I thought about is like precedent. Do we care about setting a precedent that a half acre, if someone comes here, is okay? I mean, I live in a very, let's say, restrictive HOA where the lots are half an acre. Now there's different HOA covenants, obviously,
Right.
that are in place. But is that something we're okay with? Is that not something we're okay with?
I think
We've-
that's why I'm
we've
asking
approved-
for all the restrictions.
We've approved one already.
So here's the difference between what we did approve.
We've allowed this. Someone came already in front of the BZA for less than an acre, and we looked at it.
We approved it with no restrictions.
Yes.
But if you looked at it because it was a side lot, it was actually, because of the setbacks made it under an acre. It was very close to an acre.
It was very close to it.
It was
Sorry,
not a
I've been
legitimate
here a
half
while.
acre.
No. It was
no.
recent. You weren't there for that.
No,
and it was a close vote, if I remember right.
Yes, but it was also a lot that was significantly closer to an acre. It was because it
was
was a
just short.
corner lot that the setbacks caused it to be that under, where it's not. We're now, I think this is the first time we've been brought to us of a legitimate half-acre.
This
lot.
is a true half acre,
Right.
and you know, just because the current neighbors are okay, what happens if a new neighbor behind them, you know, purchases? I'm just wondering more about the precedent
Agree with
and
that.
where's that going to go.
Well, I like the idea of setting a number, a max. And I also like the idea of sunsetting it so that if they ever were to move, new owners, they can't just put you reuse that for chickens if they sell it. And I think the fact that it's a fenced-in backyard, it's a 6-foot fence, I believe. I mean, I think that's a positive. Can't see in. Chickens are not likely to get out. So I mean, I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think the main thing is figuring out what's that maximum.
Right. And I think something else that considers not only how many chickens there are, and this is where when you said that setting a precedent that I kind of struggle with, the size of the barn or the shed that he wants to go through and convert half of it to a coop sounds great. I know to this might look kind of small for how large of a run is, but this is significantly larger of a run than is necessarily needed for 6 chickens, where I would like to have it of a smaller run for the setting of the precedent for the future. But given where everything is set on his property, it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't see how it makes sense to be smaller.
I think it's a good idea to just fence it in, let them cluck about and do their thing.
It just goes back to what you made the comment of the precedent is,
Well, if we don't, I mean, you could not have a run and just have them free in the backyard. I mean,
I don't like the free in the backyard.
well, then we have to have a run.
Yeah, we have to have a run, yes.
So-
Well, you don't have to, but
Well,
I
that's what
like
I'm saying,
I
that's-
like the run idea. It's just
But I think
I like a smaller run, but knowing where his buildings are
that run doesn't look. I mean, to me, that run doesn't seem very big.
sounds crazy,
It's a
but
small. It's just the back corner of the lot.
you should have about 10 square foot of run per chicken. So I mean, that's pretty small. I get that,
I'm
but
not educated enough to advise on how much room he needs for a chicken. He's asking for this much room for
Right.
1, 10, 50 chickens, I don't know. So with the number of chickens, I think it's probably good to not have a whole gaggle of them there, just enough so the neighbors don't get mad and that it doesn't cause problems. He can do his eggs, teach his kids, and not make any changes to the footprint that's already there and grandfathered in.
So, but go back to what Brian said, bigger picture stuff here. How do we feel about allowing a true half acre lot with the stipulations we put forward, you know, having that precedent or having that opportunity for a half acre? Half acre lot's pretty small lot, allowing them to have chickens. I mean, is the number really make it feel okay to the board? Is that what it is? For me, the run, I understand your concern with the run. I'm not worried about the run.
Yeah.
And the coop, I'm not there, you know, it's an existing shed. It is what it is. If he was building a new shed, I think I'd kind of deliberate that more. I'm just a little bit up in the air about a half acre lot with just allowing a half acre lot to have.
So I think what you said was essentially exactly where I'm at. And it's the plan as proposed, like the chicken run, the way the yard's fenced in and just kind of doing a fence there and a fence there. Like the layout makes sense to me. I'm really stuck on the philosophical true
what
half
you're saying.
acre. And what happens when the next person comes in and maybe they don't have a fence, their yard's not fenced. Like there's just so many ways it could go.
I know. Well, maybe we don't approve that one, or we have the stipulation that they have to put this similar type of fence around it. That's the stipulation we had, because that's what the board thinks would be acceptable.
And maybe I shouldn't worry about a problem I can't solve. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we need, if I've learned of anything, even if you personally don't agree with approving the variance, we should still have some stipulations on the chance that the board goes opposite of that. I think before we take it to a vote, we do need the stipulations.
If we want,
Either way,
if we want to put stipulations on it, last time I think the board decided not to.
Yes.
I voted, if I remember, I voted against that one because I didn't agree with what was put forward. But yeah, if the board feels as a group we want to put stipulations on there, then we should go to a vote and get the applicants, buy-in on those stipulations. So clearly, everyone sounds like, do we want stipulations added to?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Can we agree with that? Doesn't mean we have to approve it. It's just like we want to include stipulations in what we put forward. So the first one that maybe clearly we want to say that roosters are not allowed.
Yes.
Okay. So then the second one stipulation is that I said it and you guys said is that this variance is tied to this homeowner
Right.
only.
Sunsets on transfer of property.
Okay. I don't think we need one on the chicken run. I'm good with what he's got shown for the chicken run. I don't think we need a stipulation for that, if that's okay.
I think even if we're good with what he's shown, the stipulation should be that he does maintain a chicken run.
Yeah. Okay. And then he has to come in for any approvals for any additional
Changes, yeah.
fencing and anything he's got to follow.
Because that
the
will at
zoning
least set
ordinance.
precedent of we are requiring a version of a chicken run. And we are looking at each individual property. Because I have a feeling if we approve this, once we get one,
No, I think
it's a
that's fair. I
floodgate
think
of
that makes
chickens
sense.
coming.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to say, like, if you're gonna do this and we're gonna give you this, approve this variance, then these are the criteria that we want.
Right. And the precedent being we will
You will have a
look
chicken
at
run.
chicken runs and
Yeah.
everyone will be a little different according to what the property is.
And he has to maintain that border fencing around as well.
According to whatever the fence regulations are.
Yeah, I would say, Mr. Chairman, would it be good to state that the chicken run, like a condition would be that the chicken run would be as shown on the site plan
Yeah,
submitted
shown
by
on the
the
site
applicant?
plan. Yeah.
And to make sure that it stays in that area and it doesn't get larger or move somewhere else or something, or
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how you want to word that, but.
And then the last one is the quantity.
On
And
the size of the chicken coop.
I think that's set. It's an existing building.
It is, but I think we should still have it that the chicken coop maintains as the site plan, which is half of the existing.
Like, you can't add
Barn.
on to it, there's no.
The chicken coop
yeah.
is half of the barn
Yeah,
as
this-
set in
this
site plan.
is- Yeah, this is the chicken coop. No, you're not expanding it, you're not. But I don't know. Would we have to get another variance if you were expanding it anyways?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel
I
like
think it's set because it's approved as is. Like,
Yeah, the footprint's grandfathered.
yeah,
I don't really care what he does inside the shed,
inside. I don't either.
as long as the outside doesn't change.
Right.
okay.
I agree with that.
Okay.
So he would, if to change it, I just want to make sure that
But if he
It's
he
not-
wants to tear it down and build a bigger one, that's a separate zoning.
he has to come back to us, correct?
If maybe that's more of a legal question, but I think if you want to,
So is the
I don't know,
building
would you-
grandfathered? Like, if that shed goes away, tree falls on it, and he has to build a new one, does he have to come in because that footprint is grandfathered in?
oh, I thought you were concerned about the size of the chicken coop and making sure that the size was going to be
Yeah,
just
like,
this
If it
building.
goes bigger, that goes outside of the whole grandfather thing of where that shed and that barn were there before we changed the zoning code.
I think that's why I'm saying.
I'm not understanding your question.
If we just put
exactly what-
in the language that we are, the chicken coop is the existing barn
Yeah,
as shown on the
Shed.
proposal.
the shed.
Shed.
Shed, the
Sorry.
168 square foot
Sorry,
shed.
let me change that verbiage. The chicken coop is the existing smaller shed shown on the proposal.
Perfect.
Because then that, no matter what it is, that keeps him on that.
That footprint, right.
All right, so no rooster, chicken run is shown on the site plan, maintain the existing fence. Chicken coop shall be the existing shed only. And then the last one is the quantity of chickens.
I mean, I'm fine with 6 if the board is. I'm
6.
As the max.
6. I'm good with 6 as the max.
I'm totally ignorant on
was gonna
the
say
number
we
of
just
chickens. I have
said-
no
We're just
idea.
guessing.
I have no idea.
I'd make,
And again,
if
we
I
have
had
to-
to put a number on it, I'm just completely making up.
Yeah,
a
that's what
number.
we are.
I like
15 sounds high.
Yeah.
4 sounds low.
He
So
needs
they-
only to go to 10.
So
Just 10, would 10 be a reasonable amount?
I love it. 10
Yeah.
sounds great.
I'm fine with 10.
Mr. Terry.
6 to 12, I was, yeah, no matter.
Okay. Mr. Terry, can you come back up real quick? I just want to know for the record, if we're going to add stipulations to this, so do we agree to 10 then?
max 10.
Max.
Okay, so the stipulations would be, we're going to put together, we're going to propose that there's no roosters, that the chicken run will meet the site plan as shown, that you maintain the existing kind of stockade fence around the property to screen the chicken coop and the run, that the chicken coop will be the existing shed, and that no more than 10 chicken hens will be allowed. Would you be okay with those stipulations if that's how we present it?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, did you mention the variance on sunsets? It's only good for.
Oh, yes, and then that this variance would stay with you as the property owner. When the property transitions to somebody else, the variance would go away. Would you be okay with that as well?
Yes. Are you saying I'd have to undo everything or
No.
just?
No.
it would just
No.
have to-
Just
You would-
if somebody were to buy the property, they would not be allowed to have chickens.
Right.
They would have to go through this process again.
I guess yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So that means the question is on approval of variance appeal number 2025-168, requesting a variance from section 6.01B to C to permit poultry husbandry to be located on property less than 1 acre in size with the following stipulations: that roosters are not allowed, that the chicken run will be constructed as shown on the site plan submitted this evening as part of the record, that the property owner will maintain the existing fence around the property to screen the chicken coop and the chicken run, that the chicken coop will utilize the existing shed only, that the applicant will only be allowed a maximum of 10 chickens and hens on the property, and that if the property changes hands, the variance will
Will expire.
expire at that time. Heather, please call the vote for the variance appeal.
Did we get a second?
What's
Second.
that?
Did we get a second?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can I get a
Second.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Rowan,
Yes.
Ms. Garkar,
No.
Mr. Falkowski,
No.
Mr. Goling,
Yes.
Mr. Valencic.
Yes. The variance has been approved for your first variance item. The second item we have to discuss today is for application 2025-168. That's the second variance is requested from section 6.01B2C III to allow the chicken coop to be located 5 feet from the rear property line in lieu of the maximum 25 feet clearance required. You want to come up, Mr. Terry, and just add anything to this? If not,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Is there,
The issue-
this is just the
This is
setback?
just the setback. This
Yeah.
is again, just a grandfather in, just the minimal impact to what's already been approved.
Okay.
And that's it.
Any questions for Mr. Terry before he sits down? Okay, nope, you can be seated. All right, is there anyone else speaking for or against this appeal? If there's no further questions, the public hearing for variance number 2025-168, the second variance is now closed. Can I get a motion to approve variance application 2025-168 for a a request from section 6.01B2C III to allow the chicken coop to be located 5 feet from the property line in lieu of the 25 feet.
So moved.
Second.
Ash,
Second.
Oh, thank you, Ash. Okay. Any discussion from the board?
I mean, I think if we
Yeah.
change the footprint, then it changes
Yeah.
Yeah.
what we already just approved, so. I think I'm fine with it.
We're good? Okay. All right, if there's no other questions, Heather, can you please call the vote for the second variance?
Sure. Ms. Garkar,
Yes.
Mr. Rowan,
Yes.
Mr. Falkowski,
Yes.
Mr. Golding,
Yes.
Mr. Valensik.
Yes. Second variance has also been approved. Thank you. We have meeting minutes to approve. The first is, let me see, okay, the first is for the approval of our meeting minutes from January 8th, 2025. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Any changes or revisions to the minutes? All in favor of the minutes, to approve the minutes from January 8th, 2025, say aye. Aye. Anyone abstaining?
Abstain.
Thank you. All right, the next is a motion to approve the minutes from February 12th, 2025. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any additions, deletions, changes?
No.
No? Okay, can I get, all in favor of approving the minutes from February 12th, 2025, say aye.
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 Abstaining?
Abstain.
All right, the minutes from February are also approved. The next meeting for the Concord Township Board of Zoning Appeals is May 14th, 2025. Our meeting for this evening is now adjourned.